road trip down to surprise our good buddy Gordon.
Yeah, we're going to Denver, Colorado. Why are you laughing? Just so you know, we live in Hamilton, Ontario. This is not a short road trip.
We're not very good at shooting videos either. So yeah, this is the story about the time we drove from Hamilton to Colorado with the sole intention of surprising the holy hell out of our good friend Gordon. So we packed up the car around like 6:30 on Friday night after Carmen was done work, got on the road and started making our way.
But first we needed to stop off in St. Thomas and see an old buddy of mine from the military, Steve Giza. He also didn't know we were coming.
This is totally Steve Giza's place, 100%.
Look at all the
Big trucks, all the toys.
So the plan was to put on a disguise consisting of a baseball hat and sunglasses. Then we were gonna sneak into his backyard and pretend like we were a couple of tourists taking some pictures and videos beside his pool and wait for him to come outside and freak out on us. However, Steve's an army guy and they can be kind of difficult to sneak up on sometimes. He saw me coming from a mile away. Well, that was awesome to get caught up with Steve and Lisa. We haven't seen them in like 5 years. We pretty much picked up right where we left off.
That's it?
Wave, everyone. You're going on YouTube.
So we had nothing planned for this trip, and we're now leaving St. Thomas at 9:30, destined for Chicago.
I'm back. So we do.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm back. We don't actually have a plan. Well, we do now. So here's the thing. We need to get to Chicago tomorrow because we want to see Chicago. But we don't want to drive 8 hours right now. So I asked Mark what name sounded good for him, and he picked Battle Creek. So we're going to Battle Creek, Michigan.
So we drove through the night, ended up sleeping in the car in some random field for like 2 hours, and then we got up and started our day in Chicago. So after hiking all over the city for like 20 miles, we said goodbye to Chicago, got back in the car, and started making our way towards St. Louis. Next, we stopped in a place called Cahokia. It's known as America's oldest city. It's the site of the largest earthwork pyramid in the Americas, north of Mexico, with a footprint even bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. And if that wasn't bizarre enough, this place is a site of mass ritual execution.
Here we have Cahokia. When the colonists showed up, there were over 200,000 earthen pyramids, geometric forms, conical mounds, and effigies of astounding proportions. It was like a geometric blackboard in ancient America. This is at Cahokia. It still exists. These structures are so staggering that people don't even think they exist still. So this is what the colonists encountered. 100-foot high, 14-acre base. That's 1 acre larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. 22 million cubic yards of soil taken from over a mile away to build this structure.
Halfway up this mountain. It is like 1,000 meters.
Carmen took a quick time out to answer a phone call from her sister Tara.
Well, I just don't. Okay. Huh? I just don't know what I don't know what your password is. Here we go. Whoop. It doesn't want me in the camera. Come in.
So we finished up in Cahokia, got back on the road, and started making our way towards Kansas City. But when we got there, we realized that that city is a ghost town with absolutely nothing going on. Seriously, do not go there. So we figured since we still have like 8.5 hours to drive to Denver, we figured we'd just keep on driving until we found this creepy, almost abandoned hotel and pack it in there for the night. Start planning our surprise for Gordon the next day.
On this episode of Forgotten Planet. Wow. I'll talk more about that creepy hotel after, but for now, let's get back to the original plan, which was surprising Gordon.
And I suppose I should give a little backstory on who Gordon is. Gordon and I have been friends for 11 years now, and within those 11 years, we've managed to rack up a whole pile of hilarious stories. Like in the story of us, Gordon was the guy doing snow angels with me in our bathing suits.
That's good enough, Gordon.
I love you guys. No job yet.
Gordon has traveled and worked all over the world, and he's brought me back all kinds of weapons from the most remote places on the planet, which inspired me to create this weapons rack in the basement. One time we even Skype called Gordon and patched it through the TV so he could celebrate New Year's with us when he was on the other side of the world. A couple years ago, Gordon got married to the very beautiful and talented Almira Marone. And when he asked me to be in his wedding party, I was absolutely honored. So Gordon is one of my favorite dudes in the world, and we have some suspicions that he might be a high-level government agent. But one thing's for sure is Gordon is a badass.
The G-Man.
That's me, Gordon.
That's me, Gordon.
So, we were still a couple hundred kilometers from Denver when our plans to surprise Gordon started to fall apart.
Okay, little bump in the plan. This should be interesting.
Yeah. So we're going to a restaurant tonight where we talked to Almira and we got a plan to come and surprise Gordon, but they've already got plans for tonight. So they're going out. So we kind of had to revamp our plan. So we decided to, okay, well, maybe we can just surprise them at the restaurant. But nobody there speaks English. And then this happened. And my Spanish
GPS
sucks.
signal lost.
Uh-oh. GPS signal lost.
we
Everything's
just
falling apart.
lost the
We don't
GPS
know where we're
signal.
going.
Oh my god.
Now we have no GPS and our Spanish is not great. So,
It's not looking good.
I feel hopeful though. I still feel hopeful.
We will make it happen. So we were starting to get a little bit nervous that our plans weren't going to work out. So we decided to do a little bit of singing to mask our anxieties.
Ooh, I bet you're wondering how I knew about your plans to make me blue. Some other guy that you knew before. Between the two of us guys, you know I love you more. It took me by surprise. I
end, by some divine intervention, we actually managed to find the restaurant.
Well, holy Santa Claus shit, we made it.
We're here.
But we still had a ton of work to do to get the surprise all set up. We were able to explain to the staff that we drove down all the way from Canada to surprise our good friend. And I think that they think we might have been a little bit crazy, but they still decided to section off the entire second floor so we could have our own private party upstairs. Since we managed to get there early enough, we decided to set up not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different cameras so we could totally capture Gordon's reaction. Once we were all set up, we waited and waited and waited for what felt like forever for them to get there. And yes, we were super nervous that the plan might not work out for whatever reason.
So, we made it. We're choosing to almost the finale.
Oh my God.
We're very nervous.
Super nervous.
We're so nervous.
Yeah, I have to pee.
We're so nervous.
Probably because I'm so nervous.
But by the time Gordon got there and walked up those stairs, we were ready for him. So we met a couple of Gordon's friends, we had dinner together, and planned out what we were going to do for the next couple of days.
Cheers! Cheers!
So remember that part when I say Gordon's a badass? He walks right into a national park welcome center with a dog on a leash. And the best part is, it's not even his dog.
So somewhere along the line, we recruited a dog.
The next day, Gordon's friend recommended that we drive up to Estes Park to check out the Stanley Hotel, which is the movie where they filmed The Shining. Now in the movie, the hotel's called the Overlook, which we found incredibly ironic because that creepy hotel we stayed at a couple nights before, we were remarking about how it reminded us of the hotel from the movie The Shining called the Overlook.
On this episode of Forgotten Planet, wow, we're staying at the Overlook in room 241.
And yes, the Stanley is a little bit creepy, and it's noted as being one of the most haunted hotels in all of America, but that did not stop us from having a blast while we were there. The next morning, we said our goodbyes, got back on the road, and started the long journey home. So that was Hamilton to St. Thomas to Chicago to Cahokia, through Kansas City into Denver, Garden of the Gods, Estes Park, Stanley Hotel, and back home with a quick stop in Fort Wayne to see our friends Dave and Laura, who we met in Peru. 8 days, 5,300-kilometer round trip, with the main objective of surprising the holy hell out of our good friend Gordon.
So we just yammered for like 5 5 minutes. And I did not have the record button on. I don't even remember what I said.
Anywhere, so you get more.
It's alright. That video's gonna be even better.
Sale prices too.
I do that all the time. How many times I'm like, where's that video I took? And I didn't take it. So what I was saying though.
It keeps cutting you out. The camera doesn't want you. Nope, the camera does not want you in the video.
Get me in. Get me in.
Does not want you in the video. Alright, so we are at Cahokia. I hope I got that on video. Well, I think I'm in a hornet's nest. Trying to get up the nerve to get this headstand in.
I know, be careful. Nice. That looks awesome. Look at that.
Video won't do it justice, but
We can drive over there, but Mark's making me walk. Look back. Ha ha ha.
gotcha. Gotcha, good fucker.
Ooh, this looks fun.
I am sweating profusely already.
I know.
Oh my god. I know you're videotaping me, but I shall dance anyway.
Good song.
I feel like I'm on a high. I feel like I'm on a high. You and
Bad idea. This is,
Really hope there's no ticks in this grass.
well, that's not very encouraging. Well, that was anticlimactic. We are, however, on the top of the mountain, which is kind of cool. Lay down, Clark. Here we go. Whoop.
The camera
It doesn't want me in the camera. Come in. Looks like we're running backwards.
That's awesome.
Woo! Amazing.
We need to hire a crew.
I know.
All right,
We-
take two. So we are at Cahokia, Earth Mound National Historic Site. I forget what I was saying, but let's just shoot a video.
What you were saying was really good
Until what?
until I interrupted you for no reason.
For no reason.